Hello and welcome to our kick-off seminar coming up this Friday. I thought in order to save time so that we can utilise the time we have on Friday best for actually doing things, I would explain a little bit about the project and a little bit about what we're doing on Friday so that we can then get straight down to work. Hopefully you will be arriving after 11. There is lunch downstairs. And I've reserved this cabinet for us to go to. You do have to pay for your lunch, but it's only €5, so hopefully nobody will be bankrupted by that. As you can see from the slide, then I will give a little bit of an introduction, and I will also give the first presentation where I'm talking about the survey, which many of you, I'm sure, answered. Based on that, we'll have our first group work for half an hour, looking into what it means to be digitally literate, and I will explain a little bit more about this on the day. This will be followed by Janne's talk about attitudes and fears in digital use, and time for a discussion and perhaps the most important information, a good coffee break there in the middle for at least 20 minutes. The coffee break will then be followed by Juha's talk about pedagogical design, which I'm sure will be of interest to all of us. And we'll spend the rest of the day then focusing on creating realistic targets, dividing the people into groups and thinking about scheduling. We'll finish the day then with thinking about what next steps, so that everybody should know when they leave exactly what's going to happen next, and go home around 4 o'clock. I know some of you will have to perhaps go a little bit earlier. So in summary, you have the seminar aim. So we have an introduction. We try to gain consensus about what digital literacy means to us. We'll be forming the working groups for the first phase of the project, and then we'll be looking at the next steps. So, I sent you out a little while ago on the invitation some comments and some issues about exactly what we're going to be doing in the project. And behind everything that we've been thinking about in the steering group are these three questions. What is digitalization? Why is it important? And how can we digitalize our lessons or teaching or learning in general? So these are just issues really to think about and to have at the back of your mind, because we have to know exactly what it is we're doing. But in addition to that, we have to be able to think about the added value. People will ask, well, why should I do this? And why is it important? So that's one element of what we need to work on. The first part of the project then, which in effect will come by the end of the project, paradoxically, is the creation of a strategic vision. So we aim to produce a policy document that engages our own language centres so that digital literacy becomes a standard part of our curriculum. That we ourselves can help promote a culture of change, if necessary, and we try to provide a framework for teachers, so scaffolding and support. This can't be done totally by the project, but we can help within our own language centres, and I'll talk more about that on the day. Here we now see the 3 stages of the project. This is what you've seen already that I'd sent out earlier. The first stage is then to provide the background knowledge. The second is to create concrete help by creating frameworks. And in this, I think we really need to utilize frameworks which are already available. There's no point reinventing the wheel. There's a huge amount of extremely good things out there. So we need to find those, use those, and then modify them for our own purposes. And then work on creating classroom materials so that people have something concrete to work with in the classroom. And the idea being that in each stage there would be different numbers of groups. So in stage 1, 3 groups of us. Stage 2, the 2 groups to match the 2 issues there, and in the last stage you can't see it there in the right hand corner, but there would be potentially 3 groups. Finally, and the ultimate aim of the project would be to produce a lasting legacy. So these are the things which you've seen already. We've talked about creating a website in particular, because we have to have a place to store everything that we've done. And that would be the very nicest place, so that teachers could come there and use the things that we've created. We would have a final webinar, and if possible then we would encourage people to write research articles from the things which we've discovered on the project. Overall then, as you can see, there is the 3 stages of the project, and first stage would be complete hopefully by December of this year, stage 2 by May 2018, and stage 3.2 and everything ready. I'm sorry you can't see that in the bottom there, but it says May 2019. So we're looking at a full 2-year project, slightly over in fact. And here you can see the schedule of face-to-face meetings. So we are having the kick-off meeting in March. I hope that we can meet informally in the Language Centre days, and our next face-to-face meeting properly would be in August 2017, so in August of this year. Followed by in December, where we'd report on stage 1 and plan stage 2, then meet again in May, and then again in December 2018, following the different stages of the project, finally ending up in September 2019 with a project report. I think it's good to factor in these face-to-face meetings before we actually begin the project, so that you know exactly when we will be meeting. You'll notice that it's very kind of heavy on the beginning part, so there are 4 meetings in a sense for this year, and less as we go forward. The idea being is that we then try to give us all a good start. So that's all for now. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Friday, and you're all very, very welcome.